Let me tell you a story of heroes. For there are those who believe the history of Albion is a history of heroes.
I'm here with David Eckelberry of Lionhead to talk about Fable Legends.
Hi, thanks for coming in today. New Fable game we just announced at E3 this year, and we're going to be showing off to the world soon. In our new Fable title, we're bringing you back to this wonderful world of Albion, this setting for previous Fable games like Fable 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, I remember Fable 1 so much. You know what I remember? I remember kicking chickens.
You'll be able to kick chickens again, of course. It's part of the Fable lore. You're able to kick chickens in 1, 2, and 3. We can't get away from it. In fact, chickens have already made an appearance in some of our videos, so yeah, they'll be back. Kicking chickens and having fun in the game is definitely part of the new game. So in our new hometown, we call it Bright Lodge. There's lots of mini games to be played. You can meet new strangers and interact with them, find new quests. And that's where all of our stories begin, is where we're centered in Bright Lodge. So you can once again become a blacksmith or maybe a pie maker and all those silly things. And then find out some of the lore of the setting and find out what needs to be done. And then you join as part of a group of heroes and go on a quest adventure. You might discover, for example, that this magical artifact that we were showing you here today, called the Moon on the Stick, needs to be saved. And so our heroes join up and then go off on a quest adventure together, where the four of them venture forth into the woods of Rosewood, a very scary, dark place, a traditional Fable element, traditional kind of fairy tale motif. They go off into the woods and explore through the night. And then meanwhile, we have a villain player, something very new in Fable Legends, where before in previous Fable titles you could be kind of a bad guy, but you still had to save the world.
You could kick chickens while you save the world.
You definitely could. You could stab your wife while you save the world and sacrifice her on an evil altar.
But you still save the world.
You would still save the world. So I guess it wasn't that bad to kill your wife. Don't kill your wife. That's bad. No, but we really wanted to make the villain experience incredibly different from the hero experience. So now, as you saw on our screens back there, the villain looks down from the world from above, right? So he looks down on the world and he controls all of those creatures and traps and spells. It's kind of like a little bit like playing an RTS. So he organizes and plans all of his strategies and tactics to defeat the heroes while they work together to defeat him.
RTS Dungeon Master.
A little bit, yeah. So, it's a little bit like having a dungeon master that's out to kill you.
Yeah, I guess an evil dungeon master.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully your dungeon master isn't out to...
There are some dungeon masters who are purely there to make that journey treacherous.
True. We tried to, back in the 90s when I worked for TSR, we did try to train people that it was better to tell a story with your players instead of killing them all and having to start over again. But some of them, yeah, it takes some time.
So what we saw here was 4 players, 1 evil person, working together to save the moon on a stick.
That's right. So our 4 heroes are working together to defeat this villain, recover this magical artifact. Now what we played here was just a 15 kind of minute demo experience. An overall quest should last around 30 minutes, give or take, depending on how the heroes and the villain play or don't play together and who's better than the other sort of thing. Each of those quests forms an independent narrative in that 30 minutes, but it also strings together to form an overall campaign arc. What we played was the 11th quest in an overall campaign series. But all of those quests form together so that there is a meta arc, and you can choose to experience the game's story, whether you're playing single player with AI or playing multiplayer with friends online.
So you have 4 people whether you're alone or not.
That's right, and that's necessary for us to game balance it, right? So if that just means that the right number of creatures are always there because they have the right number of heroes to fight.
You kind of need a healer no matter what.
Well, not really. We are trying to make the game so that, you can play with or without a healer, right? The healer adds something to the experience, but he doesn't have limitless free healing.
No.
He has to work to earn his healing, if you will. But yeah, we're playing the game so that any combination of heroes can play together. We have heroes that are all about preventing damage, heroes that are all about, using their heavy armor to absorb damage, and heroes that are just trying to kill the enemy fast enough that they don't die, right?
Yes.
There's a different mix, and all of the heroes are meant to be unique. We're going to launch with more than a dozen of them, so you'll have lots of different ways to play the game.
Aside from this super evil option now, is there anything else new we can expect to see in Fable Legends?
Well, lots of new things, right? Like we're going to go visit in Fable in a different time. So you're going to see lots of new creatures, lots of new mini games to experience, and lots of new stories to tell, right? There's many corridors of Albion that we've explored in the games, through books, comic books, all those sorts of things like that. And we think we have a lot of great stories still to tell in Albion. So even after we initially released this game, we're going to keep making new quests and new stories and new ways for you to continue to explore Albion, unlock new corners, find new enemies to fight, and find new challenges for yourself.
I'm excited to play. I just started the Fable comic books. The world is very exciting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.